We're now going to interview Josh Bokee, Alderman candidate for the city of Frederick on the Democratic side. Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Blaine. How are you?
Good. This is an opportunity for those that are listening to get to know the candidates better, learn something about them, whether it's personally or professionally. So just start out and tell us who Josh Bokee is personally or professionally.
Who I am.
Yes,
yeah,
who you
exactly. Well, one, thanks for the opportunity, Blaine.
No problem.
It's great. 35, my wife and I, Katie, we live in the city neighborhood of Whittier. We've been there for about 5 years and have a son, Spencer. He turns 2 in October. And we moved there when we were ready to buy a home and up here. And the thing you have to understand is that we were, we both grew up in the suburbs. I was born in Baltimore. I was raised in Anne Arundel, met my wife in Montgomery. And so, and like a lot of your listeners already know, City of Frederick is a great place to be in. It's got a great downtown. It's got great neighborhoods. And this is infectious spirit of civic pride and volunteerism that's just fantastic. So it made it very easy and very welcoming for me to leap in with 2 feet and get involved here and try to give back some of what I think I can offer back into the community. In my background, I've been schooled in business management, economics, planning. I've started my early part of the career working for a small nonprofit where we had to make every dollar count. I spent a number of years as a policy analyst looking at public sector budgets, local public sector budgets, not here locally. So really understanding, types of questions that you have to ask and how do you sift through information, how do you get to the right answer. And now most recently I'm in the private sector now. And I think one of the things in terms of what I wanted to be able to come back and get back into the community was want to start out working with other folks in the neighborhood advisory councils, working with other coordinators there and helping to facilitate meetings about code enforcement and safety, communication, and then currently serve as vice chair of the Planning Commission. Yeah,
you're on the Planning Commission. Right. So do you feel like the Planning Commission has been a good training ground to prepare you for the run of alderman? I've always said the Planning Commission is one of the most, if not the most important commission. A lot of focus on HPC right now, but Planning Commission sure. Generally is where a lot of major decisions, especially in terms of how the city develops and grows.
No, I think what it's been able to give me is a couple things. One, it's given me a real bird's eye view, one in terms of how the departments work together. Where we have been as a city and where we are going. As some folks know, as your listeners know, we've been working on the next comprehensive plan for the city. That's been in the last year. We've had over 17 workshops about that. So, we've been pouring through data, economic data, demographic data, what folks want to see, and it's been an invaluable experience, to say the least.
Now, when we first started out on the Blaine Young Show, myself and Anita, we made this list of all the people that may potentially run, and your name kept coming up, and then eventually you put your hat into the ring. What put you over the top, or what was was there a driving issue or reason why you said, you know what, I want to step up instead of taking an appointed role of Planning Commission and go into the elected arena and be one of the aldermen?
Sure. Great question. There's two, I think we face two challenges as a community. There's the immediate challenge that right now of the current economy. And whoever is elected next year is going to have to confront, I think, what is going to be a very difficult budget season, not just for next year, but the year after. So we've got that to be able to successfully guide the city through. There's a second challenge at the same time, which is how do we continue the work that's being done to lay the foundation in the future so that families, all of our families, can continue to live here or work here if they choose to do so and call Frederick their home for many years to come. And I think that there's three things that led me to see as far as things that I think we need to try to do over the next 4 years. One I've referenced before, and this is about the budget. Clearly, it's going to take strong fiscal resolve, but I think we're going to have to learn how to approach the budget in a different manner. I think we have to look at how do we look at our agencies and departments, help them to become more innovative, more efficient. And we can talk about that a little bit more in a bit. Two, at the same time, I think we've got to have, I call it, we need to make Frederick the entrepreneur capital of Maryland. And what I mean by that is that if you're thinking about opening a business, we want you to think of Frederick being first. If you want to expand your business, we want you to stay here in Frederick. And if you want to locate a new business here, or a large business, small business, we want you to think of Frederick first. And so what do we need to be able to do to help make Frederick a friendly place to do business while still maintaining our high standards here in the community?
So what I'm hearing is you would classify yourself as fiscally conservative or more efficient government, or a little of both?
I think they go hand in hand, Blaine. And what I mean by that, I think, is that when I go knocking on door to door now, it doesn't matter where you live. The number one issue I've heard so far is, well, my property taxes.
And I agree with you. It was the number one thing that I heard. So so you're making that part of what I tell every candidate is when you say a name, what are people going to think of? So Josh Bokee, when you say your name, you're going to say property taxes and at least efficient government. Being conservative with the tax dollars is what you want people to think of when they say your name.
I think that's part of it, but the other part is that I would like them to think about the fact that I think we need to, I want to be an alderman for the entire city, for every neighborhood. And so to that end, I think we need to continue to prioritize our reinvestment in our neighborhoods and revitalizing our commercial centers. So we want to continue the work that we've done in downtown. I think that's crucial, completing Carroll Creek, working with the folks on the east side, pushing up into North Market Street. But we need to extend that same focus and investment over to the Golden Mile as well. And these are questions that we've been looking at on the Planning Commission that I've been thinking about as well now for at least over a year. And as we put this plan together, what do we need to do to get from here to there? And
you would characterize yourself as being pro-business, obviously, from what I heard.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
And I liked about what you said about some incentives of if you're going to open a business, you want them to open it in the city. If they're going to expand, you want them to expand in the city. Do you have any type of ideas in terms of an alderman's legislative role? So what are, and when I try to tell people, I'd rather hear ideas than hear nothing. So to me, there's no dumb idea or an idea that should be discounted because from discussion, it can be crafted and molded into a great proposal. Are there any ideas or concepts that you can see yourself proposing if elected?
Sure, absolutely. And the reason that I focus on the business aspect, too, is because if we want to maintain our quality of life, having a diverse number of employers and with quality jobs is going to be essential. But that's also essential to the equation of maintaining the services that we want. One of the things that I brought here in the studio is that we've been working on, as part of the comprehensive plan, we have the economic development element as part of that. This is something that we've been working with staff with. We've had a number of workshops on. It is, to my knowledge, it's probably one of the most detailed economic development drafts to go into a comprehensive plan that's ever been in there before. And so it includes things such as, obviously, we want to continue to extend tax credits for renewal along with the Golden Mile. I think that we need to take an overall approach as a board, to be able to look at how do we look at the issue of being customer friendly for our agencies, and I think we're doing a good job of that in some aspects, but we can strengthen that and we can improve upon that. The role of the Board of Aldermen I look at is the mayor's running day to day. He or
He's
she
the executive.
He's the executive, right? She's the executive. They are our cheerleader. They're doing the operations, but the board has an opportunity to step back and ask some of these longer-term questions. Where are we going as a city? How do we then look at moving forward and helping Richard Griffin and his team over in economic development?
Sure, absolutely. I've always said that the board should always be looking 20 years out.
That's right.
Not looking yesterday.
That's